Hey everyone, it's that time of the season again to show you guys the best loadouts for Season 3. As you remember from my previous loadout video for Season 2, most of the guns I showcased were the ones I enjoyed using, with some of them dominating the meta. This season will be different though, as we will be going over the guns you can use to win most of your gunfights and matches. Not only that, I will show you some of the extra builds that I use that didn't make it to the 10 loadout slots. Make sure you stay until the end of the video for some of the secret attachments reveal that no one has ever seen. Hey everyone, it's that time of the season again to show you guys the best for Season 3. As you remember from my previous video for Season 2, most of the guns I showcased were the ones I enjoyed using, with some. For the first loadout, we're gonna start with my sniper loadout. I use this whenever I want to, you guessed it, snipe. Although I mostly snipe during search and destroy, if you ever decide sniping on respawns like hardpoint or domination, I'd recommend you use the FHJ as your secondary to take down enemy score streak. I'd also suggest you swap out dead silence for hardline since you won't be sneaking up behind enemies as much. For the attachments, I have the OWC light suppressor, YKM lightweight short barrel, OWC skeleton stock, FMJ, and the TAC laser. If you're a beginner sniper, I'd suggest you go with the stopping power reload instead of suppressor, or go with a stapled grip tape for the fastest ADS. The Locust is one of the better snipers in the current meta. The way how it feels so smooth when you use it is just satisfying, but only if you hit your shot. Make sure you have good aim if you're planning to use this without the stopping power reload. Look at Mara's huge gun. With the Man-O-War still being the king of 3-shot weapons, it is only right that it gets included in the list. I use this mainly for situations where I want to be passive, use more power positions, and just depend on my aim to do the work. I use this more to support teammates around the OBJ. We have the monolithic suppressor, combat stock, TAC laser, TAC 4 grip A, and the granulated grip tape. This gives us decent ADS speed and range boost, while still taking care of bullet spread accuracy due to the negatives of the monolithic suppressor. The Man-O-War is really easy to control and requires little to no effort in killing enemies. The only downside is the low fire rate, which causes the Man-O-War to be unforgiving if you miss your shots. If you're having a great time with the Man-O-War and you want to have a bit of difficulty by having body damage multipliers, go ahead and use the DRH. This has the potential to 3-shot if you hit all your bullets to the enemy's chest. Still a great gun to use for holding areas while moving around the map. I use this gun to rush sometimes. For the build, we got the monolithic suppressor, no stock, TAC laser, and the 25-round OTM mag. And lastly, the granulated grip tape. This gives us decent movement for those occasional close range encounters while having the range to 3-shot kill just shy beyond medium range. The DRH was one of my favorite guns to use at the time it first came out and is still pretty good, albeit being held back by the damage multipliers. The former king of 3-shot weapons, the ASM-10 fell off and became somewhat of an anti-SMG, kinda like a counter to the rising SMGs like the QQ9 and the PP19 Bizon. I use this to rush people face to face because that's where 3-shot lethality shines as of now. We're using the monolithic suppressor, MIP, light barrel, no stock, TAC laser, and the granulated grip tape. This will help us in the close to medium range fights, but that's it. If you want more bullets, you can swap the monolithic suppressor for an extended mag. The ASM-10 is a close range killer, and for what it is, it's still pretty useful. Its high damage and easy recall in close range is what makes it shine among the DRH and the Man-O-War, so don't let the recent nerf fool you. Heading over to the SMGs, we have arguably one of the best, if not the best in its class, the QQ9. For when I want to rush and respawns and want to have movement as an advantage in a gunfight, I pull up this gun among the many players having this in their own hands. For the gunsmith, I use a ranged stack build because I don't like too much strafing speed for my guns. Monolithic suppressor, recon TAC long, no stock, TAC laser, together with the 45-round extended mag is good enough for me. Still with good enough movement while being able to use the QQ9 properly in medium ranges. Since it's buff, almost everyone's using it, but it has its own negatives like its inconsistent time to kill in close range. Next up, what we have is to me still the king of SMGs for close range gunfights. The Fennec is my go-to when rushing in search and destroy. The thing that's holding it back is the mag size. With the Fennec having an incredibly fast fire rate, it's just hard to deal with 3 enemies with a single mag. I still use the Garena meta build just because I got pretty comfortable with it. I'm using the monolithic suppressor, light barrel short with an optic of your choice. For me, it's the classic red dot sight, together with the TAC laser and the extended mag A. This build, even though it has less movement, gives you the range you need to challenge face-to-face medium-range gunfight, given that you can control the recoil. The Fennec has been the dominating SMG for close range for many seasons now, and it has no signs of slowing down. It just shreds enemies face to face. I'm a bit shy, but I guess I'll show you my PP19 Bizon loadout. You may notice that I have a trophy as my tactical equipment instead of a smoke grenade, and this is because I use the PP19 as an aggressive AR type of weapon. Arguably the best build we have, the monolithic suppressor and the extended light barrel to extend our range, no stock for movement with tac laser and the large caliber ammo. This gives us a gun with good fire rate and consistent damage output and decent ranges. If you're sleeping on the PP, you have to try it out. One of the newcomers in the current meta, with the ease of use and with the gun feeling like the pre-nerf HG40, I believe we will see this gun in the pro scene more often. I like using the KRM-262 for extremely tight areas because of its one-shot kill potential. While you can't use this gun in longer ranges like say a sniper rifle, you have to be more creative on how will you approach enemies and gunfights while being limited to close range only. Here's a build you can use. Equip the Marauder Suppressor, light extended barrel, no stock, speed up kill, and the MIP laser. This will give you the most movement and hip fire range while being able to speed up whenever you get a kill. Pretty cool, right? The KRM is still the go-to shotgun, at least in Garena's pro scene. With the right hands, it's straight up unfair to be allowed to use in competitive. My personal favorite AR and the only gun I have diamond on, the LK24N9 are still going strong after so many seasons. I use this to hold power positions and sometimes rush with it if I'm feeling like I can take any gunfight. With the default iron sight being so bad, I end up using a red dot, which costs me an attachment slot, but it's still very viable against the current meta. I have the integral suppressor, no stock, tac laser, and granulated grip tape. Just a basic build, but gets the job done. The LK24 is one of those ARs that I will hold on to as long as I can beat the current meta with it. It is such a reliable weapon. This last one on my loadouts, personally I have avoided using it because it's easy to use, but since I play with pro players from OUTCAST and we usually play on the EU server, and with me being in the Middle East, it's hard to compensate for server difference, so I end up using different guns. Chopper is one of those guns I can rely on whenever I'm playing on higher ping. I'm using the tactical suppressor, special forces, FMJ, tac laser, and the heavy handle. You can use the muzzle brake for the muzzle attachment if you're having difficulty with the recoil. The Chopper LMG was nerfed, but still incredibly easy to use if you ask me, if you practice the recoil pattern. If you have seen my previous video, you know that this gun can turn into a laser beam. If you're in the global region and you're playing on Mobile Mayhem, where you can use some of the mentioned guns like the Manowar or the KRM, here are some guns you can use for the global scene, or even if you want to challenge yourself and fast track your progress as a player. We've reached the part of the video where I get to show you my secret attachments. I beg you to keep this a secret between us and don't ever share this to anyone. Can I trust you? Okay. The current meta is dominated by 3-shot weapons, guns with high mobility and high fire rate, and sniper rifles. I can't wait for the huge changes in Season 4, and here's to hoping that COD Mobile actually does something good to the game to increase the skill gap. No more NA45s and Akimbo Deagles in ranked, I hope and pray. Nonetheless, I will make the most of the current situation and make sure I progress as a player. You should too. That's it for this season's best loadouts. Let me know if I missed out on anything. If you're planning to use any of these builds, remember to hit the like button and share this to a friend who badly needs some gunsmith builds, including the secret attachments, okay? For today's question, what device do you use to play COD Mobile? Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.